Hi guys, welcome back on my channel again, Dorota Palicka, International Nail Artist and Educator, and today we are going to do those beautiful Valentine's designs. Check them out. Yeah, we've got also those kind of Valentine's setup because we have been doing some photo shoots, and you can see some of the pictures. I will be posting them in the community tab. So I'm going to post the picture of the stiletto nails I have created, a really nice long stiletto nails with the same love hearts liquid stones, which we are going to do today. So you can check this picture for inspiration, how else you could use this technique. And liquid stones is a really fantastic technique for the clients which are maybe bad on catching the gems, or they want some kind of custom design crystals. So you will really love this technique, and it has multiple ideas, and you can do it just any way you can imagine, like creating a beautiful stones, like some marbles inside. You could encapsulate some flowers, glitters, absolutely like endless ideas for this technique. So I hope you will really enjoy this tutorial, and if you do and you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button because there is lots of more tutorials coming up. I've got actually a queue of the tutorials because you guys have requested the paint on French on the almond shaped nails, and I promise I will do this tutorial. We've got one French technique on the channel, but it's pretty old one, like probably from about 10 years ago. So I definitely promise you guys I'm going to do another French tutorial with the gel and like a nice beautiful crisp smile lines. You have guys requested koala just because of the Australia and all the bad fires and now floods going on in there. So I've got a beautiful color already prepared, and we will be doing it with the 3D gel. So stay tuned with my channel, but finish the stock and let's start doing this beautiful design. So you can see again those liquid stone look, and I show you that again. It looks really nice, and it's great for the clients which keep losing the stones, because this one they cannot lose it because it's built up from the gel, and I will show you how to do it. Because there is a Valentine's coming up, I thought I will do it in a love heart shape, but you can see the idea of the necklace here, so I'm not going to use the necklace. We will go for kind of love heart with the tiny bits of the beads. So I have pre-painted my tips with 173 upvoted white gel polish, applied the top coat and buffed the top coat. And then I'm going to put a tiny bit of the clear gel on the side, because we are going to use this clear gel. Is amazing because it's really nice and thin consistency. You could also use the top coat for those kind of design as well. And I show you what to do. So I have choose the red glitter, nice and sparkly one, and I think it looks amazing as a love heart. And I'm just going to paint the love heart shape. Sorry, I split it. There we are. I'm just going to paint the love heart shape with the gel. I'm not bothered perfectly about the shape of it. I'm just putting a thin layer of those gel. You can hardly see it, but let me go into the next step. I'm going to put a tiny bit of the top coat as well for this step, and dip in my brush in a glitter. So I've got glitter on my brush, and now I'm just going to keep applying it into the love heart shape. So the first layer will look kind of messy. Don't worry about it, because we are going to layer it a few times for the nicest results, and that's also give you those kind of 3D look dimension as well. So the tips I can give you, like each time when you start feeling the glitter doesn't move too much, just add a drop of the top coat and pick up a fresh pieces of the glitter. Okay, I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of the top coat and a few bits of the glitter. At this stage, what I'm doing is I'm concentrating more on the outside part. For those of you who it's harder to kind of imagine the love heart shape and do it with the glitter, what you could do is you could paint it with the pencil or with the pen and then just fill up that with the glitter. Okay, it starts looking like a love heart. It's not perfect yet, but I'm going to give it a flash cure. Flash cure is just a couple seconds of the curing to freeze the product. I don't need to cure it completely because we are going to build up layers on top of it. So just a couple seconds to freeze the product. And again, I'm going into my top coat to layer another layer, and this layer is going to smooth out those wee raggy edges. Because I don't need to have so much of the glitter on my brush, it's much easier to work with it now, just to perfect the shape. What is great about the liquid stones, they can come up in any kind of shapes. So we could do rhombus, we could do square. And I think it always looks very elegant on the nails. So you can see it, I'm just working out on my edges and a shape. It's a bit fiddly. Okay, the last couple ones on just in there. You could also use the fine glitter, but I find it actually this chunkier glitter looks much better. So I'm checking the shape. It's a bit raggy, but less than it was in the first layer. So I'm just touching up the last bits and pieces and then going to give it a cure. That's great, I'm happy with it now. I can give it a cure. Again, only a flash, so a couple of seconds. And our last step, I mean, we could keep going, like building up the layers, so it is going to be perfect. But because we are going to also outline it with some caviar beads, I don't need to make it super perfect. So that's it, flash cure. Now I'm going to take a scoop of the clear gel. You can still dab it in a little bit of the glitter at this part as well. So a scoop of the clear glitter. And this is going to make the glitter look even more beautiful because the clear gel enlarges the piece of the glitters. You can see how nice it starts to look. So I'm just distributing this gel on the glitter. If you spend too long time and the gel is pretty runny, you can just turn it upside down. Okay, so you'll just turn it like this, upside down, so the gel kind of goes more into the middle, it's not as flat. And our next step is to play with the caviar beads. I find the caviar bead stays on really well if we use the base gel and then the top coat as well. So I'm going to use the Soak of Base Gel and just put tiny bit on the side. And then we are going to go with the caviar beads. I will use the mixture because on this tip you can see I have used like a much larger beads. And then on this one I have used a smaller one. So I will show you both of them. The smaller ones are cool because you can make better designs because they don't move as much as the big ones. So I'm taking my base gel and I'm just painting outside the love heart shape. That's why I didn't bother too much about the shape of it at the edges, because we are going to apply the caviar beads in there. And then I've got some cool pen. I show you that. And it has caviar beads inside. You just click and then they pop out. So you can see I've got already a couple of them. And then you just move them. I think it's still fiddly, but worth the look. So first of all, I kind of like just sprinkle a couple of it, and then a small brush is actually best for moving the caviar beads. So that's what I'm going to do. And I give you another tip. When working with the caviar beads, I suggest you do a little bit and then you flash cure it. So don't try to do full love heart, because then some of them might move and you just wasted your time. So I'm going to quickly give it a cure before they move, because they already start moving. So a couple seconds cure, just really to freeze it. There we are, and we can move on into the next ones. Very, very fiddly, freeze it. But you can already see it, how much it did change the look. Of course, like we could also use the transfer foil for this technique and just outline it with the transfer foil, say example in silver or in gold. Actually, what I'm going to do is just to speed up the process, I'm just going to go and speed up this part because it's a bit boring. You can see it, I have changed it slightly the shape because I thought like one side is a little bit misshaped for a love heart. So I'm just going to freeze the caviar bits and pick up the 2-3 bits and pieces of the glitter. Just to fill up this empty space. And that's look much more oh gosh, much more beautiful. Couple seconds freeze. And we can move on into the smaller ones. I think the smaller ones are much easier than the larger ones. But for a stone look, like the bigger are better, just because the smaller ones would just disappear. So in the necklace one, you would just place the caviar bits like in the 2 lines, and that's the necklace. But we are going to do some kind of design, so I can show you can create some designs with the caviar bits as well. I've got some on the side and here, and the tiny, tiny ones compared to those large ones we have used before. And the same way, I'm taking a tiny bit of the base gel, which I've got on the side, and I'm just going to create a design. So here I'm painting like a wee triangle-ish shape. And then I'm picking up on my brush the caviar bits, you can see them here. And what I'm doing is I'm just placing them there, and then I will start shaping them with the brush. Again, very, very fiddly. So you keep kind of pushing them in the place you want. I'm just going to clean my brush. It's a little bit too much base on it. And then it's more difficult to move them because they're so tiny that they stick in a lot. So you can see I have created like a wee triangle. But the good stuff about them, they are not moving as much as the other ones, as the large ones. I'm taking another couple, and we are going to do the swirl. So I will do one side, and the other side I will just speed up, so you don't be fed up of placing those caviar bits. I think the effect is absolutely stunning because they're so tiny. And they do really last. Like you can see some Swarovski pixie on my nails. There is tutorial on the channel as well how I have created them. And with the base they don't come off. So we have created like a wee swirl. I'm going to flash cure it. And you can see on this one I was spending like a pretty decent time just to place all those caviar bits. But I think it looks so pretty. And then this one we're just going on the, so if this is here, the next one I would place there, just like this. Another tip with the caviar bits, like I kind of try to spread them, and then once they spread you can push in one side with your brush because it's longer and it's easier to get them in a line like this. Then it is taking like shorter time. But it's so pretty looking. Let me also know in the comments below what else you would like to see, because I'm happy to produce those tutorials for you. So here I'm just missing a tiny bit of the swirl or something. There is lots of different things on the channel if you're new here. Like we've got some sculpting, we've got lots of designs because I love doing the designs. But also, guys, I need to find different tips. I think they are so uncomfy to work in with, because I have to kind of control two hands. The hand which is holding this tip and is so flat that you cannot really catch it properly. So it is quite difficult with some type of the designs. Now this one is, maybe these ones are not nice. This one bit there. And I'm going to give it a cure. So I'm going to do a flash cure and then I will apply the top coat, and I will show you how I apply the top coat as well to make sure they stays on. But as I say, I need to find a different tips because they're really uncomfy for holding. And that's make the designs much more difficult to paint as well, I think. So I'm just taking a top coat, slap it in a little bit, and work around the caviar bits. Like around the caviar bits. So this places was very easy to paint for me. And then the other ones, I don't want the top coat to stick in too much on top of the caviar bits. And I have to take a small brush and just apply it with the small brush. And the caviar bits kind of accumulate the top coat, like in here. So you want to really brush that away, so it doesn't look too heavy, too bulky, and then smooth out the design. So you don't want too much of this top coat stuck in there. And then that's it finished. So I'm going, actually I applied a tiny bit of the top coat on here as well, on the love heart, so it's shining, beautiful. I think it will look also cool in blue, like, you know, the heart of the ocean from the Titanic. I'm going to give it a final cure and then I show you the finished look. So yeah, I hope you have really enjoyed watching this tutorial, and if you did and you think it's worth to share it, hit this button. I show you them at this angle because then the light hits them much nicer. And the other tip which we have just created today, it looks so nice and beautiful, and the clients are not going to lose it because it's done with the gel, so you can create those kind of gems for them. Thanks guys, bye.